My name is Asta De Silva. I'm not sure if you have heard me speak before. I was chatting there with a few people and they said that they don't want to come to listen to me because when I'm speaking, do you know why? So you haven't heard me. So yeah, I do about 30 to 40 keynote speaks a year, very seldom in Finland, but I have had the tendency to put people to do push-ups when we start. So are you up for it, do you know, or what? So I have a trick that I do is that, okay, I do 50 push-ups myself. You can join me and do 50, or you can do squats. I know it's their bench. Or if you are not doing push-ups or squats, so you just stand up and cheer for the others. So clap loudly and cheer. Are you ready for that? So you don't need to do any exercise, but if you are not doing so, then you just stand up and cheer for the others. So we start with that and get good energy, and then we are pumped up for the last speech here today. Right? Are you ready? You think I'm joking, I'm not joking. so this is what I do, so maybe that's the reason why people don't come and listen to me second time. But let's see. Okay, we do so. You can do squats, push-ups, or just stand up and clap for the others and cheer. Thank you. Okay, so now we feel good. Thanks for those who joined and thanks for the applause. That's data, right? So if you do this, if you count again, so if I do 40 keynotes a year, so while I speak, so I get to do a few push-ups, which keeps you in shape. But that's a bit about the kind of the jokes for the start, but today I'm talking about smart vending, or really smart vending, and what can you learn from it. So imagine a world where everyone's needs are predicted and fulfilled at any time, anywhere, without waste by merchants. And then this convenience will be known worldwide as self-leading. If I told you about that I'm gonna Uber myself to the hotel after here, you would immediately know what I do. If I told that I came to Slush, I booked an Airbnb for us, you would know what I'm doing. If you then heard me saying that I'm vaulting the food for the team, you would know what I'm doing. And I'm going to argue that a few years ahead, you'll be talking about self-lead, which is then exactly this what I'm going to talk about. So on a busy day like this, what I had today, and all of you have here, we are in a location where we don't normally are. So we walk around. There was excellent catering around here, but when I was coming here, I was a bit nervous where to get food. And if I have the same situation when I travel away tomorrow at Messukeskus or wherever I'm going for, I might have a hard time to know where to get and what. But the funny thing is that that's only for me, that I don't know where I'm going or what's there, but the data already knows that I have a ticket to Slush. There is a data which knows which hotel room I have. There's a timeline of it, there's a temperature and everything that actually knows what's going to happen. The only thing is that actually not very many care about that I'm going there as an individual data point. But imagine how your world would be different if you were on a busy day at the office, or if you go to the unfortunate situation in the hospital, and the hospital is taking care of your needs immediately. How would that make you feel when you come there? You feel refreshed that I came here by accident, but now I'm in. And actually, luckily, there was fresh food items available for me with a drink. When I said that I'm traveling to Helsinki, so for my kids, I live in Jyväskylä. It's the same as I would go to Paris because the time is about the same. To Paris, I fly from Jyväskylä to Helsinki, and then from Helsinki to Paris. It takes me about 4 hours. To come by train to Helsinki takes me about 4 hours. So for them, it's a 4-hour trip. So immediately, the first question they asked me was the younger one saying that, what are you going to bring for us? I was trying to explain to her that, yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to be quite busy these days. There are side events, that the events are Slush. I might not have time to buy anything. So think how I would feel if there was a place, there was some sort of a cabinet where I'm walking through my hotel, where the souvenirs of Helsinki would be available. Maybe something from Finland, maybe something from Slush. It would be just perfect for me. Again, this is known by many, that that this is going to happen everywhere, but nobody cares about it. So again, we could have quite easily predicted the need of what's happening, but we were just not willing to serve in this moment. So I went to a gym also a couple of weeks back, and actually I tried to go to the gym. So I went there, noticed that I didn't have my towel with me. And I'm half Finn, half Sri Lankan, so of course being a Finnish, so I saw a queue of people at the reception, so I left the gym. Since it would have been hassle for me to go and ask them, would you have anywhere towels to sell? Or maybe there would have been a cabinet where things would have been ready for me. And after the training, why on earth would I carry any recovery drink when it could be nearby me? So these needs that I'm talking about in the beginning of saying predicting, so this is not actually future, it's today. It just means that somebody has to collect the information and help these merchants who want to do business to make better business out of it. So we at Selfie-Store, we have about 35% market share in Europe in this smart vending. We are covering now, I think the 25th country, Ireland, just is about to open our first intelligent vending machine is about to be shipped there. We work with workplaces, to restaurants, to hotels, to public spaces, with vending operators and resellers in Europe. Next year we are going to expand to the US and also to the Turkey market. And for us, the focus is to provide consumers easy, convenient, contactless and fun shopping experience. We want to be the ones that they're delighting and smiling. I didn't know that you were here. The Selfie-Store was available, and thank gosh it had the things that I needed. We sell the empty cabinets. It's the merchants then locally who will then sell what they want to sell. We've been a winner, for instance, the European Technology Award in Paris, 2 times Vending Awards winner in London, and several awards from the US as well. But if you look at it, so how we see these things and why these consumer behavior things are important for all of us to understand. So if you go for maybe a famous grocery store or a retailer in the US, so first was that consumers went for the markets there and to buy, and they worked in these bigger hypermarkets, walked in, picked their items and moved on. Consumers said that since I know what I'm going to buy, why don't you make a pickup location where I can just order in, come in, pick up the items that I need and move forward. So great development happened. They can pick up these pickup locations where logistically it's smartly put in the center of the store or quite close to the cash places there, and then you cashiers, and then you just press the code that you had, you got the item, you got it. But then consumers started saying that why would I go inside to the store? Since I already know what I'm going to buy, so why don't you bring it to the car that I drive by and then pack it into the car? And again, great development came, innovation came, so why don't we get the orders from the consumers, pack it in, and when they come with the car, so we just pack it in to the car and consumers are happy. But then consumers started thinking that, well, the hypermarket and the parking lot is not actually on my way. Why on earth would I go there and drive since my home is just the other way around, so I will lose time. So great innovation came that Walmart and others started to actually, you can order food and they put it into a fridge, inside directly. So when you come from home, from work, you are getting your goods in. I know some of you might be wondering how are you going to monitor this person inside? So they have cameras following, you can watch it real time, they will send pictures and you have real time feed and you can watch the feed afterwards. And again, quite convenient service, so actually somebody else is filling my fridge and I go there. But then consumers say, yeah, but I still don't like that even if I know the person is inside and pulling it in, so I don't want that person to be here. It's a bit shady picture, but here's a robot. So they come with a van, and then the robot steps out and goes into the house and fills it in, fills the fridge and comes out, so no humans enter your house. So this is how bigger players also innovate, and these are nice tools and to think. And still I would argue that the best innovation we could have is actually not think of the consumers ordering the things, but it's being a place where you have the situation happening. So how do you predict then the demand? So there are lots of things of what kind of data points we gather and you could gather and use the information. So of course location-based situation here. So today we are in an event, tomorrow many of us go to Slush. So it's a location we know, it's a busy street, kind of a lot of people inside, so we know what kind of behavior is happening. and when are the events happening there, so makes sense. Then of course collecting the data from slush, for instance, we collected from last year when we had 20 self-restore cabinets as we have this year, so we already know that at 11:30 there's going to be a huge queues for lunch, and it will take you 45 minutes to queue to get the lunch from the restaurants, or you can actually buy from self-restore in mere seconds. And then you don't need to queue. So we know this thing. We know that most common combos are actually that you will buy a salad or a sandwich with the fruit smoothie, not with the drink, because drinks are free outside water and so on. But there are lots of other things that can help you to these things. If you were a hotel owner, so you can think of the situation that tomorrow it rains, how does it differ the demand of the occupants that are in the hotel? Probably they need more umbrellas. If families are coming, they might need souvenirs, and so on. So there are lots of data points that you can gather, and this is what exactly we do, from open sources to the sales data, and then work with different algorithms to predict the future. What we do at Self-Restore, is we are covering 25 countries in Europe, is that all the hotels that are using our cabinets will have data, and we will put that in AI algorithms to then start predicting how did those impact. How did the weather actually impact the sales? If it was raining or if it was cold? How did the weekends impact the sales? How does Christmas, for instance, impact the sales? And then put in these algorithms and then start predicting for the merchants that what should you have in there. There are different algorithms that can be used, from time series to regression, decision trees and neural works to make this more accurate and then test out. So the big question is like, okay, if you do this, what will happen? These are vending machines in same location. So the red dotted line is an average vending machine in Europe, how much revenue is generated in a month. And you can see that, of course, I don't have the exact data for all the months, but it's basically about the inflation rate increase in the vending machine. So if it was 2 years ago in October, something under 400 euros average, now it's about 450 euros because of the inflation being in 2 years about 10%. Well, when we started working with data and advising our customers, so they started with the same place. So they had the same place, about the same revenue. But then doing these things and starting to predict the future and the demand. So today or last month in average cabinet in October made 1,050 euros on sales. This is again the same location, same consumers coming by, but the increase is now, or the revenue on average is 2.5 times more than from traditional vending machine, only because of using the data, making consumers the buying experience simple and kind of having the right products at the right time for the right audience. So this is not hard, it requires data and work, but we have done that, and if you want to know more, so we still have their staff that will be here to talk about this situation. But on that note, so on my behalf, so thank you. And if somebody wants to do an extra 50 push-ups or squats, so I'm more than happy to do outside the stage, so we don't burden the others who were here. But thank you.